Today, as we gather in this quiet moment, let's settle into a simple thought: gratitude. Let's take a step back from the noise and fast pace of life to simply acknowledge the moments and details we often overlook. Imagine for a second all the little pieces that make up our day, our morning, our breath, the people who walk with us through life, those we cherish, those who may challenge us too. Together they weave a tapestry that, when seen in its entirety, reveals blessings we might easily pass by. It's so easy to lose sight of gratitude, isn't it? We're always moving forward, reaching for the next thing. But today, just for a bit, I'd like us to pause and reflect. Let's consider what it means to be truly grateful, not for grand events or miracles alone, but for each breath, each heartbeat. We sometimes think we'll only feel thankful when something monumental happens, but gratitude isn't always about those big things. It's in the small, the quiet, the steady. When we tune into these subtleties, a sense of peace can fill us in a way nothing else quite does. Now let's consider this. Every single one of us has walked through challenges. Maybe right now, some of us are in a season where things feel heavy, confusing, or uncertain. It can be hard to see the good in those times, and I won't pretend it's easy. But even here, even in the moments that stretch us thin, there's something we can hold on to, something to be thankful for. And maybe it's a lesson we haven't fully understood yet, a strength we didn't know we had, or the quiet comfort of knowing we're not alone. These are the gifts hidden in hardship, ones we rarely ask for but often need. In this space of gratitude, I invite you to close your eyes, even just for a moment. Take a breath, feel it filling your lungs, grounding you in this very instant. It's such a simple act, yet it's one we often take for granted. Our breath is life's way of reminding us we're here now, given another chance to be, to experience, to feel. Isn't it amazing that something as basic as breathing can hold so much meaning? With each breath, we're connected to something larger than ourselves, something that says, yes, you are here for a reason. Now, let's think about the people in our lives. Maybe there are friends who've walked beside us for years, family members who know us better than anyone, or even strangers who've crossed our path and, for reasons we can't explain, left an impact. Let's give thanks for them. These people are part of our story, each one adding something unique, something real. The shared smiles, the little gestures of kindness, the words of encouragement during difficult times. They're all pieces of a larger picture, and each one matters. Let's also think about the things we might not usually feel thankful for. The tough days, the moments that left us feeling uncertain, or even the times we felt alone. These aren't the parts we like to dwell on, yet they shape us, make us stronger, help us grow. In the midst of challenges, gratitude can feel distant, but when we look back, we often see those moments as times we found resilience we didn't know we had. There's a strange beauty in that, isn't there? And then there's the beauty of nature around us. The sun rising every morning, the stars quietly watching over us at night, the trees that stand firm in all seasons. These things don't demand our attention, yet they're there, steady and unchanging. Nature has a way of reminding us that life goes on, that there's always a new day waiting, a new chance to begin again. It's comforting to know that no matter what, the world keeps moving, offering us the chance to find peace in its rhythm. For many of us, faith plays a central role in our lives, guiding us through uncertainties and giving us strength when we need it most. Faith isn't something we can always put into words. It's something we feel deep within. It's the quiet assurance that there's a purpose behind each of our days, that we're part of something greater. When we turn to our faith, we're not just looking for answers. We're seeking a connection, a reminder that we're never truly alone. And now, with a heart full of gratitude, I invite you to reflect on the gift of today. Today is here for us to cherish, to be present, to love deeply. We don't know what tomorrow will bring, but we have today. We have this moment, and it's enough. It's easy to let the days slip by, to let moments blend together. But when we choose to see each day as a gift, life takes on a new color, a new meaning. As we sit with this feeling of gratitude, let's turn our attention to something else, our dreams, the hopes we carry quietly, tucked away in our hearts. These dreams, whether big or small, shape how we look at life. They give us something to work towards, something that stirs us. And though we may not speak of them often, they're there, waiting for us to take that first step, or sometimes just to have a little more patience. But here's the thing, sometimes we don't see progress. We put in the effort, we try to stay on course, but the results don't always show up right away. It's in those times that it's hardest to stay grateful, isn't it? We start questioning, wondering if we're on the right path, or if all our efforts will really pay off. But maybe, just maybe, that waiting period is part of the process. Perhaps it's there to remind us that some things take time to grow, even if we can't see it. Consider this moment as a reminder to appreciate where you are right now, without rushing. It's easy to look around and compare, to think that maybe we should be further along. But the truth is, every one of us has our own timing. Life isn't a race. When we truly appreciate the present, we're free from that urge to compare, free to find peace in our own pace. And while we're talking about gratitude, let's bring our thoughts to those who've helped us along the way. We rarely get anywhere alone. There are always people, family, friends, mentors, even strangers, who've given us a bit of guidance, or maybe just a kind word at the right time. They might not know the impact they've had, but their presence has shaped us. It's these people who remind us that we're all connected, that none of us are here purely by our own efforts. Imagine for a moment the faces of those who've been there for you. Maybe some are no longer with you, or perhaps life's paths have led you in different directions. But they were there when you needed them, and even if words weren't exchanged, their support was felt. In this moment of reflection, let's quietly say thanks. Their kindness, their patience, it all mattered. Now, let's also recognize the strength within us, the resilience that's carried us through tough times. Often we don't see it clearly until we've come through to the other side. Life doesn't always go as planned, and sometimes we're left with disappointment, hurt, or uncertainty. But in those times, we find a strength that surprises us. It's a quiet kind of courage, the kind that doesn't shout or demand attention, but simply keeps us moving forward. We may not give ourselves enough credit for it, but it's there, holding us steady, reminding us of what we're capable of. As we look inward, let's think about forgiveness too. Maybe there's someone we need to forgive, or perhaps we need to forgive ourselves. Holding on to resentment, regret, or disappointment can weigh us down in ways we don't even realize. But when we choose to let go, to truly forgive, we free ourselves. It doesn't mean forgetting or excusing what's happened. It just means deciding that it won't control us anymore. In forgiving, we're giving ourselves the gift of peace. It's not always easy, but it's a step towards healing, towards a lighter heart. And now, let's appreciate the simplicity around us. We often overlook the little things, the warmth of sunlight streaming through a window, the sound of laughter, the quiet moments when we're alone, but feel content. These are the moments that bring a quiet joy, a calm that reminds us of what truly matters. They're not flashy or dramatic, but they're real. They're moments that ground us, that bring us back to what's truly important. For those of us who hold on to faith, it's there in these moments too. Faith doesn't have to be loud or obvious. Sometimes it's just a quiet assurance, a feeling deep down that there's a purpose, a reason, even when we can't see it. It's the small voice that tells us to keep going, to trust, to believe that no matter what, we're not alone. This faith, this quiet strength, is something we carry with us, something that supports us when everything else feels uncertain. And now, as we draw close to the end of this moment, let's take with us the peace that gratitude brings. Let's carry it into our daily lives, letting it color the way we see the world. the way we interact with others. Let's remember that gratitude isn't just a feeling. It's a way of living, a choice we make each day. It's in the words we say, the kindness we show, the patience we offer. And the beautiful thing is, the more we practice gratitude, the more we find to be grateful for. It's a cycle that fills our hearts, one that never runs dry. Thank you for joining me in this reflection, for taking the time to pause and appreciate. May we carry this feeling forward, letting it bring light to our days and strength to our hearts.